Always. That's what I do.
Let's talk about.
Last episode.
Yeah, for you it was.
In the last episode, and I'm actually that's the one thing that's most exciting for me because I came into the season 2, wanting to get rid of my power, not really understanding. Now that I finally know how it works, I got to control it. I kind of got involved in getting to explore her as a woman as far as like season 2 is concerned. And so for me now that I don't have my power and I kind of like can relax, and they gave me a passport and some credit card and money, and maybe I could just go shopping for a little bit. Maybe Maya gets to go on a shopping spree.
Did that worry you when you read in the script, oh, my power's being taken away from me? Does that mean I'm off the show?
Yeah.
Well, not everybody on the show has powers. I think, the whole concept of the show is that these are ordinary people, and some of them have extraordinary abilities, but they're coexisting with regular human beings. And the journey, I think, as human beings that they go through, it's something outside of their power. It's about fitting in. It's about finding themselves,
We've seen a lot of the characters go quite dark this season. Are you
Yeah.
gonna get darker? Or
Darker than black tears? I don't think so. I hope not.
tell us a bit about sort of why you joined Heroes. Were you a fan before?
Well, the interesting part is that I was just coming out of doing Sopranos, and I hadn't seen the show before. And my friend was a big fan when they called and they said they wanted me to come in and test for the producers. I really hadn't seen any of the episodes, and she had all of them, and I started watching. By episode 8, I called back my agent, and I was like, I need to go in for this show. I love it.
Usually,
What do you make of sort of fans from around the world, because people love it, or whatever
Yeah.
country you go to? Have you found that?
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it's great. It's great whenever as an actress to be able to work. Period, it's a blessing, and to be able to get recognized and have your work be acknowledged worldwide. It's an amazing feeling.
My kids did that last year.
Hi, how are you?
But if you have watched the show, then all the relationship stuff will be much more meaningful to you.
And the new characters like Brea, and will they carry over into Fugitives?
Yeah, Brea.
To go all the way over there, I love it. I mean, my wife and I absolutely love London. So
Do people recognise you over there now?
it's insane. It's because of you guys. It's like I couldn't believe it. It's even more than here because you have 2 programs dedicated to it. You have the Unmasked and it was just awesome, yeah. But walking down the street, I walk into a pub. I mean, this is the coolest thing. First of all, walking into a pub and a group of guys on the table, they're like, "That's Parkman, hey man!" It's just the greatest thing in the world. So yes, I will be buying a home in London if I can.
But presumably, will people's reaction to you be changing then? Because it's meant to get quite dark.
Yeah, this face. I think people. It's like a little bit, but not so much that people they know that it's going to be for a reason, and then I'll eventually, hopefully, come back. Because if you go too dark on Heroes, you get killed and you go away, and I don't ever want to leave this show, so hopefully not.
And how have you enjoyed filming this season so far? Because it really does seem to have come back with a proper bang.
Yeah, I love this year. I mean, there are so many cool characters that have been introduced with the villains, and then we, of course, we're kind of working together now on the show. We're shooting episode 15 and 16, and we have to come together to defeat them and find out who's behind this. And then you've got Arthur Petrelli, who is a true bad guy. Now you have a real guy to follow that is dark, and his intentions aren't good. So I love it. I'm just loving this year.
In season 2, a few people sort of dipped away, but I know with season 3 already in Britain, people love it. You've won my dad back over. He's tuning in every week.
There you go. You guys are only like a week behind us.
Yes.
I loved season 2, but it was selfishly. I loved all the storylines, but mine, especially with my dad, the Parkman character with his father. That was a big part of season 2. So selfishly, I loved season 2, man. I thought it was great. The only problem was it was cut short because of the writer's strike, and we didn't get to. The writers didn't get to play out the storylines that they wanted to. But then, like you said, season 3, we came back with a bang, so it's good.
What's it like being part of this sort of sci-fi genre? Do you love it?
I love it. I've been a part of it for a while, so it's I can't get rid of it now. It's really super cool, and the fans are great, and they expect, like my buddy J.J. Abrams, if he does something, they say, okay, so when are you going to be in Fringe, or when are you going to be in? So it's a great place to be as an actor. I'm lucky to be working, all of us. We're really, really lucky to be on, especially a show like this.
You have to give us a hint as well. I heard a rumour that you might have a cameo in the Star Trek movie.
I don't know. You're going to have to go watch the movie to find out. I can't talk about that. That I can. I'm sworn to secrecy.
Are you excited about it?
Very excited. Yeah, it's going to be great.
It's
going to be great.
Not going to say anything. Very
Nothing.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to go grab my wife. Okay. All right.
It's nice to have a little bit of a sample. So maybe not going to make sense. I think this season is right.
How the experience was with declaring yourself?
Hi, thank you. I have to really prioritize and focus on the show.
Because Ando is busy.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, the season he is. Yeah, you're right.
I'm going to go grab my wife.
You can't just come out and say exactly what's going to happen. First of all, because things change, but also because, they call them spoilers for a reason. It spoils things for people.
So tell us what you sort of most enjoyed about this. It really does sort of seem to have been a return to form. The sort of storylines have really sort of come in with a bang in season 3.
I think the thing that I've really enjoyed is I've loved kind of the physical nature of it. I've loved having the fights and the there's some really cool stuff coming up too. We do episode 8 is like a prequel to the pilot. It goes back in time, and you see the Petrellis when Angela was still an innocent, and Siler was still a redeemable, self-doubting Gabriel Gray, and that he was kind of created. It was not just out of whole, that he didn't just create himself out of whole cloth. That there's a complicity in there between, maybe L and HRG, for example. So it's really cool, and you see a lot of things dovetail into stories that you saw begin.
And we're starting to see a few people that haven't had powers before, sort of trying to get powers, or flash forwards of them having powers in the future. Can we expect something similar from you?
No, well, I would, in general, I would say no. I would say that whatever happens in that vein is going to be short-lived and more of a kind of a cautionary tale, more of just sort of finding a temporary story in which the shoe is on the other foot.
And you're a very protective father on the show. Do you get quite protective of Hayden?
Oh yeah, I'm very protective of her because it's she's in a spotlight. She's in the crosshairs. It's a tough position she's in, and she handles it with incredible grace, much more so than I would. I'd be decking people left and right if they talk to her if they talk to me the way they talk to her. And it's she doesn't need my protection, but I think everybody on the show sort of feels that way.
Well, she is so young, and she does seem to get the majority of all sort of focus. She gets perhaps.
Yeah, well, that's look, it's not a secret. The way the publicity game is set up is it's completely obsessed with young women or girls, and the idea is basically to destroy them. I mean, you can set them up, but you got to destroy them. There has to be, it's not, it's predatory. I mean, it really is, and it's amazing to watch, and it can make you, it certainly could make me react in a very bad way if I had to put up with what she has to put up with.